Damon had always found solace in nature, the quiet rustle of leaves, the crisp scent of pine, and the rhythmic crunch of dirt beneath his boots gave him a peace that city life never could. This weekend was supposed to be an escape, a solo hiking trip through the dense expanse of Black Hollow Forest, a place notorious among locals for its labyrinthine trails and eerie legends. But Damon thrived on the thrill of the unknown. The first day was uneventful. Damon set up camp near a clear brook, cooked a modest meal, and watched the stars pierce through the canopy above. The forest was alive with nocturnal sounds, owls hooting, leaves rustling in the breeze. It was perfect. On the second day, Damon packed his gear and decided to explore deeper. He discovered a narrow path, partially hidden by overgrown brush and marked by a faded wooden sign with barely legible letters. Whispering Trail. It wasn't on his map. His curiosity ignited. Damon stepped onto the trail. The path twisted unnaturally, snaking through dense thickets and towering trees that seemed to lean inward, their gnarled branches forming claw-like arches overhead. Despite the bright morning sun, shadows lingered unnervingly. Damon shrugged it off, attributing the unease to his imagination. Hours passed. Damon checked his compass. The needle spun wildly, refusing to settle. His GPS device showed only a blank screen. When he tried to retrace his steps, the trail had vanished. No broken twigs, no footprints, just an unbroken stretch of dense forest. Panic prickled at the edges of his mind, but Damon forced himself to stay calm. "I'm just tired. I probably missed the marker," he muttered, pressing forward, hoping to find another recognizable landmark. But the deeper he went, the more distorted the forest became. Trees twisted into unnatural shapes, their bark etched with symbols he couldn't decipher. The air grew heavy, thick with a metallic tang. And then there were the whispers, soft, unintelligible voices that seemed to drift with the wind. Damon spun around, but no one was there. Night fell quickly, swallowing the forest in oppressive darkness. Damon set up a makeshift camp, though sleep eluded him. Shadows danced just beyond the flickering light of his campfire, and the whispers grew bolder, almost conversational. By the third day, Damon was desperate. He marked trees with his knife, but when he circled back, the marks were gone. He rationed his food and water, but exhaustion gnawed at him. His reflection in a stagnant puddle revealed hollow eyes and a face drawn with fear. That evening, he saw it, a figure standing between the trees. Not an animal, not another hiker, human-like, but wrong. Its limbs were too long, its movements jerky, as if struggling to mimic walking. Damon shouted, but the figure didn't respond. Instead, it tilted its head, then disappeared behind a tree. When Damon rushed over, there was nothing. Time lost meaning. He found himself walking in circles, encountering the same fallen log, the same twisted tree, even though he was sure he'd changed direction. Hunger gnawed at his insides. Thirst burned his throat. The forest seemed to pulse with a life of its own, breathing in sync with his ragged gasps. On what he assumed was the fifth day, Damon stumbled into a clearing. In the center stood an ancient stone arch, covered in moss and those strange symbols. Beyond it, the forest looked different, lighter, almost welcoming. Desperate, he stepped through. Instantly, the air changed. The whispers ceased. The forest beyond the arch was eerily silent. Damon turned back, but the arch was gone. No clearing, no stones, just dense forest. He was still lost, but this forest felt even less familiar. The sky above was wrong, tinged with colors he couldn't name. Trees loomed with faces etched into their bark, and shadows moved without light. Damon realized the horrifying truth. He hadn't found a way out. He'd stepped deeper in, and the path was still disappearing.